American Dream Mall, if you will. All my babies.
They should have a big picture of Dusty out front, or maybe a statue, the American Dream.
You know, when Cody defended his title at the Meadowlands, this mall did not bring him here, and his dad was the American Dream.
Well, you know, it's funny you bring that up, Bill. First, you know, I got to give old Hacksaw. Ho! Hey, folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
He is.
From the golden age of wrestling.
Yeah, golden age.
If you're going to be a wrestler, you got to introduce yourself.
By the way, so you got the ho and Ric Flair. I'm sure.
Woo! I'm like, Rick, your trunks too tight or what?
Did you two ever get together and exchange woo ho?
We won't talk about that on camera. That's a whole different story. Exchanging hoes on camera.
So,
but I got to tell you though, you know, Bill, WWF was my heyday, where I wrestled Dusty, DiBiase, and Orton. But I also wrestled in the WWE, where I wrestled Dusty's kid, DiBiase's kid, and Orton's kid. So first I beat up the old man, then I beat up the kid. Give me a ho, Bill. Ho!
So wait a minute. The difference in the styles and mentality of Dusty, and we're talking about Cody. Give us the scouting report.
Well,
on the
Cody's a great young athlete. Obviously, can do all kinds of things physically. Dusty was limited in his physical ability, but just his charisma carried him so far. That's what I tell the young kids that are trying to break in. I said, everybody can take a backdrop. Yeah. Everybody can work pretty well. If it's your character that stands out, work more on your gimmick than you do your ring work.
So that's a lot of today's mentality. Let's go to Randy Orton. You were talking about him.
Yeah.
Also, you wrestled him.
Superstar. Well, he was a legend killer.
Yes.
So you know I was going to do a job for him, brother.
We're talking about we're talking about his dad, Randy Orton's dad.
Bob Orton.
Yes.
No, Bobby. Yeah, I worked with Bob when he was running around with Piper. You know, and of course Dusty and I had a whole lot of work together. And Theodore DiBiase. Ted DiBiase may be the greatest technical wrestler in the sport, but he can't fight a lick. And when you're in there with a hacksaw, it's a fight.
You heard it. Now, Ted DiBiase, when you talk about technical wrestling, I always felt he should have been the National Wrestling Alliance champion back in the days of Sam Muchnick and Larry Madison.
Any of the second generation guys were that much more polished. Jake the Snake Roberts, Kurt Hennig, Ted DiBiase. They were in the ring when they were 14, 15, hitting the ropes. I didn't start till I was 25, so I learned a lot wrestling Ted.
So tell people, we're recording this in November 2025. Tell people what you're up to today. You're obviously retired from in the ring, but you've had some health issues.
Yeah, I had some health issues, so get your checkups, folks, because, you know, I had cancer probably 25 years ago, kidney cancer. God, with the grace of God, I survived that. Now, recently, I'm battling prostate cancer. So early detection, folks. The cancer is not a death sentence. You get it caught, get the treatment, save your life. So just a blood test will find prostate cancer.
Correct. So make sure you heed that advice. Have you got one of your 2x4s here?
No, they wouldn't let me bring
right, it's the
Bill,
mall.
one time I was on the way to the ring, I had my 2x4, and I got this really bad splinter in my thumb, you know?
Did you really?
Oh, a horrible splinter. And I went, oh.
That's how it came about. Bill Apter,
wrestler's honor.
Where can people find you on social media?
I'm all over HACKSAW Jim Duggan shop.com on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I had to get somebody to help me out with my social media.
That's okay.
My daughters were like, Dad, your spelling and punctuation is so bad.
Oh my God.
So I got a young guy, Marcus, that helps me out, and we keep up with stuff. And like I said, you know, Bill, everybody sees the dark side of the ring and sees the horror stories about wrestling.
Yeah, but they way outweigh. They don't get close to the good stuff.
But I tell folks, I've been with my wife Deborah for 41 years. I never had to go to rehab for booze or drugs. I put 2 daughters through college. At 72 years old, I travel the world signing autographs.
You know
How can you bitch?
You know what? Why don't you and I approach the dark side people to come up with
the bright side of the ring?
The bright side of the ring. Partners?
Tito Santana.
We got a deal? Yeah, we're going to do it. And so Bill Apter with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Would you mind pointing out to the camera? We'll see you at the matches.
We'll see you at the matches, tough guy. Give me a hold, Bill.
Ho!
Let's go, guys. Here we go. Ho! Good hold.